Okay, so one of, if not the biggest misconception that service providers have is that you have to have an audience and a relatively large audience in order to get consistent clients. And this makes me want to bang my head against a wall because not only is it not necessary, clients normally don't come from the same type of marketing that people are doing for online courses and digital products and programs. And so we conflate those two things and we think that like we have to do all the Instagram and all the social media and all of that to get clients. And it's not only not necessary, it's actually preventing you from doing the stuff that is actually going to lead to clients. So if you think you need 10,000 followers or an email list or paid ads, no paid ads to get clients, you are absolutely wrong. And that is great news. The proof is that most service providers with massive audiences often still struggle to book clients because growing an audience and selling high ticket, which I would call a service high ticket because it's going to be a lot more expensive than like a course or digital product, those are completely different skills. Okay. So you could have a very successful 6-figure service-based business and 200 Instagram followers because it's irrelevant. All right. It doesn't mean that you aren't using Instagram at all. I teach all kinds of ways to use Instagram to get clients in my DM workshop. But by the end of this episode, I want you to understand exactly how you're going to get clients without an audience and that you actually do have an audience. Product businesses need a lot of followers because they need a lot of volume in order to make the same amount of money as a service provider. And they need a lot of content because they have to nurture people because they don't have a one-on-one relationship with those people. But you don't need an audience. You need relationships. Okay. And you already have access to more people than you think. Now, I'm going to walk you through something in this episode called the Relationship Rolodex. And it's how you identify everyone already in your audience you have access to. These are all of your potential clients. And there's I think 14 different categories of people that you want to think about. And this is one of the tools that my students get inside of Yay for Clients. But not only do you not have to join Yay for Clients to hear what these categories are and how to brainstorm your relationship Rolodex, you can also get my list of 100 ways to book a client this week for $1. Okay. So you can go to CourtneyShaw.com/100, or you can go to the link in the description or show notes, wherever you are listening to or watching this episode. The Relationship Rolodex is like the old school, like all the business cards, and these are all the people that you have access to that for some reason, because we don't function that way anymore, like we're not trading business cards anymore, we forgot that one-on-one relationships are king. So I'm going to give you 14 categories of people that you already have access to, and your job is to brainstorm at least 5 names for each category. So by the end of that, you will have a list of at least 70 people who are either potential clients or potential collaborators or referral partners. I would guarantee at least 10 of those people are potential clients that then you can reach out to. And this is where you want to grab the 100 ways to get a client this week, because it's going to help you to now use the Rolodex to do some of the strategies in that guide. Okay. So category number 1 is I want you to make a list of every single past client that you've ever had. Now, for me, that's going to be like hundreds, thousands even of people. Okay. So I might want to narrow it down to a smaller group, but if you've worked with anyone before, you want to make a list of all of the names that you can think of. If you need to go back and refer to like your sales and other email and stuff, like go do that because it's worth doing. Okay. Category number 2 is anyone who has ever referred you before. Because oftentimes when someone has referred you, they could potentially be what we call a super referrer, means that they're going to refer a lot more people to you. This is one of the most interesting phenomenons that I found in business, is that when you find someone who likes to refer business to you, they often will refer to you like 30% of your business. So you want to make sure that you nurture relationships with those people. So think of 5 people, if you have them, 5 people who have referred clients to you before. Category number 3 are friends and family members who support you and know what you do. And if your friends and family members don't know what you do, then this is the opportunity to educate them about what you do. I am serious. Don't skip this one because you never know. Like when I was doing resumes, writing resumes, everyone knew someone who needed a resume. So even if my friend didn't need a resume, maybe their partner did, or their parent, or their brother, or like whoever, right? Category number 4 is going to be past colleagues, any type of work that you've done. Think about every job you've ever had and every colleague that you had at that job. And you might not have contact with these people. This brings up a note I really want to mention, which is there's no bad or wrong answers here. You're just brainstorming a list. Don't like filter people out as you're brainstorming. Just write all the names down. And if you need to use tools like Facebook or your phone contacts or Instagram or whatever to jog your memory, LinkedIn, go do that because it's worth taking the time. AI cannot do this for you. I mean, like, not as far as I know. So you're really going to need to like do that. It could maybe sift through your email and like find some contacts and stuff, but this is something that is worth taking the time to do. Category number 5 is classmates and teachers from school. So I know that I have a bunch of classmates from when I got my French degree that I haven't spoken to in a while. And like, it would be worth me nurturing relationships with those people could potentially lead to business for me. Again, we're not talking about in this video what to do with these names. We're talking about how to make the ultimate list of everyone that there is. Okay. Category number 6 is going to be anyone who regularly asks you for advice. Now, I realize there might be overlap here with some of the other ones, but I'm thinking about like there's people in my audience that seem to really like depend on me for answers for things, and maybe they've never hired me before. Like, or maybe it's just like a different category that would bring up names that you haven't thought of. So who is it that regularly looks to you for advice? It could be someone you mentored. It could be someone you taught. It could be someone you tutored. It could be someone you worked with that you just hadn't thought of until now. Again, it's okay if there's overlap here. We want lots of different ways to prime this information so that we can make sure that it come up with as many, we want to turn over all those stones, right? Number 8 is going to be anyone you knew from activities, extracurriculars, sports, hobbies, etc. Any classes that you've taken, any things that you've said. Like I just like adult figure skating session. I don't really know those people that well at this point, but I used to do figure skating very seriously when I was in high school. And there's lots of people that I've lost touch with that could definitely go on that list. Category number 9 are people in your local community. So I want you to think about neighbors, and I'm thinking about like the kids that go to school with my daughter, their parents, like people like that. So these are the kinds of like, again, there was a woman whose son goes to my daughter's daycare and she has a business and she wanted to get coffee with me to talk about like what's going on in her business. So you never know. Category 10 is online communities. These are Facebook groups, meetup groups, Slack communities, like anything where you've got like an online group of people that you chat with, Instagram, whatever. Like Instagram friends are real and they often become real friends. These are people that you want to write down. Now, at this point, you could be at like 50 plus names. I realize some of these categories might be easier than others. So let's keep going. Category 11, this is a great one, super connectors. Who do you know who knows everyone? Like I'm thinking about my mom's husband knows everyone. You know those people, like one of my best friends, she knows everyone. Like people who just know people for a living, basically. They could just connect anyone with anyone. These are my favorite kinds of people, and you definitely are going to want to think about how you can nurture relationships with them because these people know people who are in your target market. One super connector can introduce you to 10 potential clients in a month. Like they're just incredible, okay? This is the story of when I moved to Vancouver and I had just met my friend Danielle and I told her, I'd love to organize like a brunch or something and just meet other entrepreneurs. And then Danielle took it upon herself to organize not one, but 2 separate brunches to introduce me to a bunch of different people. That's how I made all my friends here, okay? So these people, and a lot of them have become clients and customers as well. All right, category 14, connections via a spouse or partner. Okay, if you have them, this is a good one. Sometimes we forget about that. Like the people who are the closest to us have networks and we want to tap into that, all right? Now, The key here is that once you have this list, this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they either don't do anything with it, or I had one woman tell me like, okay, I sent a WhatsApp message to every single person. I'm like, no, don't, why would you do that? Okay, so we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the list and we're going to categorize people into groups. We're going to categorize them into like really close people, maybe three tiers, really close, maybe people that you know, but like maybe you don't talk to as much. And then people who are just like lost touch with, very much acquaintances. I want you to kind of go like cold, lukewarm, hot, if you want to think of it that way, and categorize people that way. If you make it on a spreadsheet, you can always like just like add a drop down to tag people that way, which is what we have in the template and gave for clients. And then you want to follow the money. Look at the people who are the warmest and ask yourself, are any of these people my ideal clients? Or if you're trying to come up with a new service, what are the problems that these people have that I could potentially solve? Okay, this is the best way to start a business. For example, when I decided to start my first business, I decided to be a resume writer. And I looked at my network and realized that almost everyone I knew needed help with resumes, because it was 2010, 2011, and we were still coming out of the Great Recession. So people are really eager to get help with their resumes. So that's what I sold. I didn't sell them like things that like, career coaching. They weren't going to pay for that. People just needed to get jobs. Okay. So I want you to really ask yourself, what do the people who are on this list actually need? What is my level of relationship with these people? Some people you might be able to identify, this person would be a great fit. I should send them an email or follow up with them or a DM and say, hey, like, I'm doing this thing now. I know you mentioned this before. Like, would you ever be interested in working together? Like, these are very casual things that you can do. It's not cold because you know the person. And then people who are not quite that warm, you might want to just like reach out to and strike up a conversation. Okay. Especially like if it's like pulling teeth to try to figure out what to say, don't do it, but go with the ones that are going to be the easiest. Look at your list of 70 people and use it. This is your network. And if there are not people on this list who are your target clients, then you need to add those people to your list. You need to go to networking groups. You need to join communities. You need to join courses and programs online where you can meet people, communities, etc., where you can connect with other entrepreneurs or whoever's going to be in your target market. All right. So that is the strategy. I hope that you made this list. I know it's a little bit painstaking, but once you have it, you can actually use it to implement some of the strategies in my 100 ways to book a client this week guide, which is just $1. You can get it at CourtneyShaw.com/100 or anywhere around this video or podcast. And I can't wait to see what you do with that.